How far would you go if your neighbor called your child ugly? My 13-year-old daughter Leah was out in our driveway practicing her kickflips when our neighbor Mr. Harlan decided to open his stupid mouth. I was inside making lunch when I heard his voice through the window. Why does that ugly little girl dress like a boy? No wonder no one wants to hang out with her. I dropped my sandwich and rushed outside. Leah was just standing there with her skateboard trying to laugh it off, but I could see the hurt in her eyes. She mumbled something about going inside and walked past me without making eye contact. That night, while tucking her in, she whispered, "Am I really ugly, Dad?" My heart shattered into a million pieces. This kid who used to bounce out of bed every morning asking what adventure we'd have today was now questioning herself because of some bitter old man. I stayed up all night researching. Turns out our city had this annual skate competition coming up in 6 weeks. First place got $500 and a sponsorship deal with the local skate shop. But more importantly, it would prove to everyone, including herself, that she belonged. The next morning, I knocked on her bedroom door. "Get dressed. We're going to the skate park." She looked confused, but grabbed her board anyway. At the park, I pulled up the competition website on my phone. "You're entering this." "Dad, I'm not good enough. Those kids have been skating for years. So have you. Since you were 8, remember? For the next 6 weeks, I became her personal coach. Every morning before school, we'd practice in the driveway. I'd hold the stopwatch while she ran through her routine. After school, we'd drive to different skate parks around town so she could practice on different surfaces. I even bought a cheap camera to film her runs so we could watch them back and see what needed work. Harlan would come outside whenever we practiced, making these loud comments about wasting time and making noise. "She's embarrassing herself," he'd say to his wife, loud enough for us to hear. "Some kids just aren't meant for sports." One afternoon, Leah landed this insane heel flip she'd been working on for weeks. I started cheering like an idiot, and she had this huge grin on her face. That's when Harlan walked over to the fence. "You know she's just gonna fail, right? Save yourself the gas money driving her around. She doesn't have what it takes." I walked right up to that fence. "Mr. Harlan, I'm gonna need you to keep your opinions about my daughter to yourself," he laughed. "Just being realistic. Some kids are winners, some aren't. Look at her." That was it. I grabbed Leah's board and looked him dead in the eye. "Want to put your money where your mouth is? $50 says she places in the top 10. Make it 100. This'll be the easiest money I ever made." We shook on it right there through the fence. Competition day arrived and Leah was a nervous wreck. Her hands were shaking as she laced up her Vans. "What if I fall? What if I freeze up?" "Then you get back up and try again. That's what skaters do." The park was packed. Kids from all over the state showed up, some with fancy boards and professional coaches. Leah looked tiny compared to some of these teenagers who looked like they belonged in magazines. When they called her name, I squeezed her shoulder. "Remember what we practiced? You belong here." She dropped in, and immediately I knew something was different. All those weeks of practice had paid off. She hit every trick clean, including that heel flip that had taken her forever to master. The crowd started getting louder with each trick. For her final trick, she attempted something we'd only landed a few times in practice, a kickflip to manual. She landed it perfectly. The crowd went absolutely wild. Kids were cheering, parents were clapping, and I was screaming so loud I probably damaged my vocal cords. When the scores came out, she placed 3rd out of 50 kids. 3rd place meant a $200 cash prize and a year's worth of free gear from the skate shop. But the best part was watching her face when they called her name. That confidence I thought Harlan had destroyed came flooding back. We got home and Harlan was waiting by his mailbox, clearly having heard the news somehow. Small towns talk fast. He walked over with a $100 bill in his hand, looking like he'd swallowed something sour. "Guess I was wrong," he mumbled, handing me the money. I took it and handed it straight to Leah. "This is yours. You earned it." As we walked toward our house, she looked up at me. "Dad, thanks for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself." I ruffled her hair. "That's what dads are for, kiddo." The next weekend, 3 kids from her school showed up asking if she wanted to skate with them. Turns out they'd seen videos of the competition online. Harlan hasn't said a word to us since.